Greetings to everyone and welcome back to this educational channel on biology. In this video, we are going to discuss an SPM forecast essay question. Actually, there are two essay questions related to our Form 5 chapter, which is chapter 10, entitled Environmental Sustainability. So these essay questions are related to the first part, which is climate change. Now, as I said before, this chapter is important because it's often tested in the essay section, apart from being tested in objective questions, and may also come out as a structured question, all right, although very rare in the previous syllabus. But for essay questions, this topic is very often asked. Okay, so let's prepare ourselves by trying as many essay questions as possible on this topic. Right, let's look at our SPM forecast essay question here. Question 1. Based on the diagram shown, explain 3 ways to reduce climate change and promote environmental sustainability. 8 marks. Okay, so in this video, there are 2 activities that we're going to do. The first one is we are going to revise or learn techniques of answering essay questions, right? And then the second thing is we are going to write a model A+ essay answer, right, as part of the training for SPM. Okay, so with constant practice of writing these essay answers and of course practicing your techniques of answering essay questions, you will be very much more confident to face to write the essay during SPM. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is to analyze and understand the question. So read the question a few times, highlight the important points, and identify these components of the question, okay, which are the stimulus, task word, the topic that's tested, what aspect is it that we have to write about, and then the marks allocated on the right hand side. Okay, so let's see how to analyze this question. Now let's discuss how I'm going to analyze this question. So here I'm going to share with you how to analyze a question, especially a question that you don't understand and it's difficult to answer. Okay, so when you analyze the question, you will understand it better. Then you're able to write the answer according to what is required in the question, and then you won't write out a point. Because we don't just write the answer, take it directly from the textbook and photostat and write it inside like that. We have to answer according to the question. All right. Okay, so you may have to rearrange your facts and add some explanations and so forth. Extra explanations. Okay, let's look at this question. Based on the diagram shown, explain 3 ways to reduce climate change and promote environmental sustainability. 8 marks. Okay, so there are 5 components in the question here that we have to know. Firstly, based on the diagram, so the diagram is given and the diagram acts as a stimulus. Okay, so in essay writing, the diagram or graph or photo or passage that is given at the beginning of the question is called the stimulus. You can check on the net, okay, the components for essay writing. Now, so label the parts in the question. If it is labeled PQR, then you better write down the real, identify the parts and write it down at the side, okay, of the letters. And if some explanation is given in the stimulus, okay, in the diagram, then take note of it, what is trying to tell you. Okay, so study the stimulus well and look for clues to answer your questions that are going to be asked after that. Okay, so secondly, we have the task word. So the task word is sometimes called the command word or the instructional word. So I use task word because it's shorter, easier to remember. In this case, task word is explain. It can be discuss, it can be compare and contrast, right? It can also be state. State is a simple task word. Or name a part. Okay, so the task word tells us how to answer an exam question and the approach used. Now, if you are given the word explain, it means you must first state, the 3 ways to reduce climate change. Now, for each way, you have to explain how it works, or why you state this is the way. How does it work? So when you have the word explain, you think of the W's, okay? How, now how has a W here. How, why, what, where can be used also, and sometimes who is involved. So there are 5, okay? 5 components to use. All right, okay, so you can ask yourself all these questions when you're explaining something. All right, so this is the most common, one of the most common task words in our SPM biology syllabus. Essay question, explain. Now the next component, now before I go on to aspect, we'll look at topic first. Okay, so in the question, try and identify what topic is involved. For example, here climate change is the topic, and then so you can like in your brain you can go and pull out the drawers, the topic of in chapter 10 of your Form 5 syllabus. It's like opening a drawer and getting out all the facts for use to answer the question, right? So this is the subject matter you're going to focus on. Okay, Form 5 chapter 10. Then recall from memory what you have studied in the textbook or in your notes about this subject matter, right? And if it is something new, okay, but related to our biology syllabus, don't panic, because every one of the students is in the same boat. All the students are in the same boat if it's something new. So just try your best to answer, especially the HOTS questions, if it's a HOTS question. And read through the stimulus, get all the clues from there before you answer. And apply your principles of biology to answer the question. Okay? Right. So hopefully we will have some exercises to cover all this, okay, on how to answer HOTS questions also. Okay. Then the another subject or matter or topic involved here is environmental sustainability, meaning the process whereby we protect the environment although we are carrying out development, and keep it in good condition for the future generations. So it's related to climate change. Now what we are going to discuss now, the 3 ways to reduce climate change, is related to environmental sustainability. Also chapter 10 from 5 syllabus. Then after you note the topic, then you ask yourself what aspect of the topic to write about. Okay, you don't write the whole chunk of what you have studied inside, like what is the cause of this climate change, and then of course you have to write the cause, but don't write the whole chunk, like the cause, the sources, the effects also must write. We didn't ask you to write effects, right? They asked you to write 3 ways to reduce the climate change. So this is the one aspect of what we studied about climate change. So for every threat, right, like climate change, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, pollution, air pollution, for example, right? For every threat, okay, to the environment, we actually have to study 4 things. The sources, the cause, and then the effects of the problem, and then ways to reduce it or prevent it. Okay, ways to handle the problem. So this is the one that they want, the 3 ways to reduce climate change. Okay, so lastly are the marks. Okay, so the marks are very important. It's important for you to look at the marks to tell you how much to write. Okay, roughly, which is 8 marks, is about, you should spend about 8 minutes to write it. Okay, that's how much time you should spend. Roughly 1 mark 1 minute lah. Roughly could be 1 mark, could be 1 to 1.5 minutes writing. And then how much to write depends on the size of your handwriting also lah. So it could be half a page to 1 page. Okay, don't write too tiny. Your handwriting should not be too tiny until examiner may need a magnifying glass to go and read it. Okay, it should be big enough, comfortable for the examiner to read, because the examiner will be reading many scripts in a very short period of time. You have to rush to finish it, so make sure your handwriting is presentable and also big. Right now, tell you how much to write. So the marks, the more marks, that means the longer you should write, and make sure, of course, with the relevant facts inside. Now, how to structure your answers also. You will tell you how to structure your answers. Because you look at the marks, 8 marks. 3 ways to reduce climate change. That means once you have stated the way, it's still not enough. You have to explain, okay, your fact. Explain how it works. How does this way reduce climate change? So maybe 2 explanations to be on the safer side. So 1 fact and 2 explanations. Okay? So maybe 1 fact and 1 explanation is 2 marks. So 2 times 3 is 6 marks. Then maybe another 2 marks for the to start off to talk about the cause of climate change. So climate change is caused by what? Climate change is caused by global warming, right? And the global warming is caused by what? Greenhouse effect, or the greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide. Okay, so link it all together, then you can relate that to the ways to reduce climate change, right? Okay, so now we are ready to start to answer the question. Now, this analysis may take a while to do, for you to have a look, but with practice, it will become easier. Anyway, if you have got used to answering the question easily, you may not need to go through this step by step like this, but it pays to really analyze the question so that you can answer it well and not write out of topic to get your full marks. Now, we've already discussed how to analyze the question and understand the question, right? So now we know the requirements of the question, and the next thing is to read through the question again and see what it needs you to do. So explain 3 ways to reduce climate change based on the diagram, right? How do we do that? So we first have to identify the 3 ways that help to reduce climate change in this diagram here. All right. So if you are sitting for the exam, you have the exam question paper in front of you, so you can circle the 3 ways with a pencil. So circle the ways to reduce climate change in the diagram and identify them. All right. Okay. So now you can take out a piece of paper and just jot down the 3 ways that are shown here that help to reduce climate change. Identify the ways. All right. So pause the video for a while. Okay, right. So now let's circle the ways to reduce climate change as shown in this diagram. The first way is you can circle the back here, okay, with the logo. This is what logo? Recycle logo. The 3 arrows in a triangular shape. This is the recycle logo. So the first way is recycling, right? And then the second way, you can see the girl planting a tree. And the third way is you can see the wind blades for the wind turbine in the background. So that's the third way. Okay, then identify them. So the first way is through recycling. Second way, plant more trees. And third way is using alternative sources of energy that are cleaner, okay, that to replace the burning of fossil fuels. Right, after that you are going to write your answer. So how are you going to structure the answer? Now, since it's 8 marks and you have to explain 3 ways, all right, if you just state the 3 ways like this, recycling, planting trees, using wind energy, that's only 3 marks. So you have to explain each way. So state each way to reduce climate change, which is called the F, based on the diagram shown. F stands for fact, right? And then after that, you have to support your fact to get more marks. So give reasons how or describe why this way works to reduce climate change. This is your E. So have more than 1 E. You can have you can have 2 E's or 3 E's, right? To ensure that if 1 E is wrong, 1 explanation is wrong, E stands for explanation. If this explanation is 1 explanation is wrong, there are a few more to back it up, to back you up. Okay, so write each F and its E's in 1 paragraph. The fact and the explanations to back up the fact. Write it all in 1 paragraph. So since you have 3 ways or 3 facts here, you should have 3 paragraphs. Okay, at least 3 paragraphs. And then one more is, before you start, it's good to write down the reason for climate change, because that will be linked to connected to the ways to reduce climate change. Okay, So what is the cause of climate change? All right, write down in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, so now you can pause the video a while and try to write down your answer first. Okay, then we'll discuss in the next slide. We'll discuss the answer in the next slide. So let's look at our answer, right? The first thing you have to do is, you have already circled all these ways to reduce climate change, right? So let's look at the answer now. Now, the first thing is to explain the cause of climate change, right? So fact number 1, climate change is caused by the greenhouse effect that causes global warming. Or you can put it in a more systematic way, it will be climate change is caused by global warming, which is caused by the greenhouse effect. Then explain the greenhouse effect. So the global warming is a result of the increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide, okay, and other greenhouse gases that trap heat in the atmosphere. All right. So we have to explain that one of the main causes of global warming and climate change is the high concentration of carbon dioxide in the air, right? So our aim here, to reduce climate change, we have to reduce the concentration of carbon dioxide in the air. All right. So 3 ways to reduce climate change are as follows. Now, all this is in one paragraph on the cause of climate change. So now another paragraph, we are going to state the ways. So the first way is recycling, right? So recycle waste paper, used glass bottles, and plastic items. And then your E, to reduce the burning of fossil fuels carried out in the production of paper, glass, and plastic products. So if we recycle all these waste items, the amount of energy needed to recycle them is much less than if we were to produce these items from the raw materials, starting from scratch. Okay, so in that way you need less energy to recycle the waste substances or items, and that will reduce the burning of fossil fuels, right? So less carbon dioxide will be released, okay, from the burning of fossil fuels, and this will decrease the global warming because there are less greenhouse gases to trap heat. Okay, and then secondly, recycling paper reduces the number of trees cut down to make paper, right? So if we recycle the paper, it means that we don't need to cut down so many trees to make paper from scratch. Okay, then these trees will be preserved. So this will preserve more trees. The word more must be added in, to absorb more carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. So the carbon dioxide concentration in the air will decrease, and this will reduce the greenhouse effect. Okay, right. So these are your E's. All right. So all this is in one paragraph. This is the first way to reduce climate change. So notice that we are very specific in writing the E's, how it helps to reduce the climate change. Okay. Right. The second F is planting trees, right? So plant more trees which absorb more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, okay, for photosynthesis. And this will reduce the carbon dioxide concentration in the air or atmosphere. So less heat will be trapped by the carbon dioxide, and global warming is reduced. Okay, so note that I mentioned reduce and the word less as compared to the original situation if we don't plant more trees. If we don't plant more trees, then more heat is trapped. So now we're planting more trees, we have to mention less heat is trapped in the atmosphere, okay, by the carbon dioxide. Now, the next fact, the last fact, is to use renewable sources of energy such as wind energy, which is converted to electrical energy by using the wind turbines. Okay, and this wind energy does not produce carbon dioxide, and so it can replace the burning of fossil fuels to generate electricity. Okay, so it is a cleaner form of energy than the energy produced from sources like burning of fossil fuels. it doesn't pollute the environment, and it doesn't increase the carbon dioxide concentration in the air. So less carbon dioxide gas is released and less heat is absorbed by the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, right? So this F and its two E's are in one paragraph by itself, right? So with that, you have already explained the three F's, and you have also elaborated on them. So 3 F's plus 3 E's, and then plus the first F for the cause of climate change. So altogether you have 4 F's plus 4 E's, okay, equals to 8 marks. So that way you have written an essay answer that is good and also excellent and able to get you help you to obtain the full marks. Here is a second bonus question, right, for you to try. The diagrams below show two methods of generating electrical energy. Method A uses coal in the power stations to generate electricity, and method B uses an alternative source of energy to generate electricity. So based on the diagrams above, state 3 differences between methods A and B. Okay, so for essay questions like this, you can draw a table, okay, to compare the method A and method B, okay, to compare and give 3 important differences between method A and B. All right, so you can try the question yourself first, pause the video and try the question, okay, and we'll look at the answer afterwards. So before we discuss the answer, let's just analyze the question here. All right, so first of all, as you read through this description above, underline the keywords, okay? 2 methods of generating electrical energy, right? First method uses coal, underline it, and second method uses alternative source of energy, okay? Method B, okay? Method A uses coal, method B uses alternative source of energy, which is actually wind energy, correct? Okay, so now analyze the question below. Based on the diagrams above, state 3 differences between methods A and B, which both generate electrical energy, as mentioned at the top here. So the diagram is your stimulus. So study the diagram. You can see here that this one is using coal to produce electricity, all right? It's a power station actually, and here we can see alternative source of energy, which is what energy? Wind energy. Okay, so state 3 differences between methods A and B. Now, state is your task word, okay? And the topic or subject matter here is usage of the 2 different types of energy sources to produce electricity. You can see here coal, we know, is a non-renewable energy source, and wind energy is a renewable energy source. Okay, so that means these methods are focusing on the use of non-renewable energy, which is coal, and the use of non-renewable energy source, and then for method B, it uses renewable energy source, right? So that is the comparison that you have to make between these 2 ways of producing, 2 methods of generating electrical energy. Okay, right, so you can draw a table. Since it's asking to state 3 differences, this is your aspect, you can draw a table to show the differences, but the sentences in the table must be complete. Don't write in point form and in a incomplete, don't write incomplete statements. Okay, pause the video and try to write the answer yourself, and let's discuss this after this. Right, let's look at the answer. So we draw a table to compare the method A with method B. Now the first point is the burning of fossil fuels such as coal is carried out for method A, right? So in the question, it's stated that coal is used in the power stations here. But you have to come up with a keyword. Coal is not the keyword, it's the burning of fossil fuels. That's the keyword to get you 1 mark. So burning of fossil fuels such as coal is carried out in method A, but in method B, the burning of fossil fuels does not occur. Okay? So in method A, the chemical energy in the coal, a fuel, is converted into electrical energy. Okay, when you burn the coal, the chemical bonds in the coal will break up, and then the chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. Okay, but for method B, it's wind energy or kinetic energy, because the blades will turn, so there's kinetic energy in that. The wind energy or kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy. So when the wind blows, the blades will turn, then there's kinetic energy, and by using the wind turbine, the wind energy is converted into electrical energy. Okay, so that's the difference, the first difference. Now, second difference, what's the consequence of burning of fossil fuels? So the burning of coal, a fossil fuel, releases pollutants such as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide into the air. These are all air pollutants, and also carbon monoxide. Whereas in method B, there's no release of air pollutants because we didn't burn the fossil fuel, right? Production of energy is clean and does not harm the environment. No harmful gases are released into the atmosphere. Okay. Then another point that you can say is to replace either one, okay, can be used, the first or the second point. So the second point that can be said, that can be given, is that method A causes air pollution, global warming, and acid rain as a consequence of the release of the air pollutants, right? For example, carbon monoxide, okay, contributes to air pollution, right? Carbon dioxide causes global warming. Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide causes acid rain. Whereas for B, it does not cause these threats like air pollution, global warming, and acid rain at all. Okay, so the production of energy is clean for method B. Now, thirdly, this method A, causes depletion or reduction of coal, a non-renewable energy source. That means non-renewables means that it cannot be replaced. It's a non-renewable energy source because after we have burnt the coal, it has disappeared. You cannot straight away replace it or immediately replace it, since it takes thousands and thousands of years to make the coal from the dead plants that are dead, and then they are crushed under high pressure. Then they turn into coal. Okay, they become coal. So you cannot immediately replace the coal, and then in the end the coal will run out, will get used up and depleted. Okay, so the word non-renewable means cannot be replaced. On the other hand, for method B, it does not cause depletion of the wind energy, which is a renewable energy source that does not get depleted and can be replaced. So renewable means can be replaced, because after we have used the wind energy to produce electrical energy, there's more wind. Every day the wind is blowing, and it doesn't run out. Okay, this energy source doesn't run out. Okay, so we can keep using it to produce the electrical energy. All right, so wind energy is a renewable energy source that does not get depleted or reduced, and it can be replaced. So lastly, based on your Form 3 textbook, in the physics section, Form 3 textbook, can you recall the definition for renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources? Okay, so this is just a revision here. If you ask what is a renewable energy source, it means an energy source that can be replaced continually. Okay, renewable means can be replaced and will not get depleted. Whereas non-renewable energy source is an energy source that cannot be replaced after it's used, and it will get depleted or reduced. Okay, the amount of it will get depleted. Right, that's all for this lesson. I hope that you have learned something from it, how to write, how to analyze your essay questions and write good essays, right? So all the best in your studies till we meet again. Goodbye.